What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Sports to the Wire. For those of you who are actually new to the show, I am your hostess, Rashid, my boy, Beric, on the other side of the panel there.
Come on, guys.
All right, so y'all see the title on screen there, man. Did Giannis Antetokounmpo injure Kyrie on purpose? Beric, take us off on that one, man. It's just a lot of mixed emotions on this, man. I think the stories might trend in the next day or so. We'll see. But Beric, actually take us off, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. It's funny because at the end of the day, Giannis, he's a big dude, and Kyrie's a big guy too. For what it's worth. It looks like, in my opinion, looking at the video, that it's really hard to say Giannis is a dirty player because he's not. But maybe he just pushed his weight on there, and that's kind of how things went down. And Kyrie went for a layup, and this is how it went down. It's hard for me to sit here and say he did it, that this was an egregious act. But sometimes these plays happen all the time. You step on someone's foot, your ankle turn, it's things like that. I mean, but Giannis purposely put his foot out there, and he purposely stick himself out there for Kyrie to get hurt. It's kind of hard to say it, bro. I wish I could give a yes or no answer, but it's very hard to say that he did it because I don't think Giannis is a dirty player, and he has not shown that at all in his stint in the NBA. Neither has Kyrie. This could be one of these freak injuries that came out of nowhere, and unfortunately, this is kind of how this thing played itself out. But it did look somewhat like Giannis probably went after him that way, but I have to go on the side of caution and say no, he did not do it purposely, but it sure didn't look that way. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Kyrie was under the basket. He was laying the ball up, and then Giannis just comes running over and just goes under the basket. Why? He already has the ball practically laid up again. The probability of him actually missing that was extremely low, and he should be actually trying to get back on defense. Now, Beric and I, we played a lot of basketball, man. I mean, we played a lot. Beric more than me. I've been playing for 20-something years, 23 years. Beric more than me. Did that ever happen to you, man? Would you actually went under somebody's ankle like that? I mean, I don't know.
No. But at the end of the day, my brother,
Giannis should be trying to get back on defense there. Kyrie already laying the ball up, and then he comes running over, and I'm like, wow. Yeah, I'm looking at the play now, and I mean that's sort of how it played itself out, and I'm looking at this. Yeah, I don't listen. It's kind of I'm looking at this now, brother. I don't know. It's hard, Rashid. It's hard to sit back and say. It's really hard to say it because Giannis was positioning himself for the rebound. I looked at this play I'm looking at it again. I'm looking at it 15 times. Kyrie went there. He got to the basket. He was surrounded by 3 Buck players. Now, it looked like Giannis was positioning himself for a rebound in case Kyrie missed the shot. But you know what? Let's go back to my first comment when I said Giannis is a big boy. Do we know our own strength or how fast we're going and how fast our power is when we're running fast? If we're a big guy, we're 6'7", or we 7 foot tall or 2 and change, we don't know. What am I saying? I'm saying maybe he just went a little bit towards the basket for that rebound, and was a little too aggressive, or maybe he just threw his weight on Kyrie's ankle, and he just played out that way. I'm pulling this up on screen right now. Now you're watching it. I'm gonna let the audience watch since one person complained in the comment section. Oh, you got to show us the clips. You should show it rather than explain it to us. When you really should go look it up yourself, man. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? When you look at it, it looks like Giannis kind of maybe threw his right hip. You see, but it wasn't his right hip. It was his right arm. Look at it again. It's his right arm. He is positioning himself for a rebound. All right, and he runs right into Kyrie, and Kyrie falls on his ankle awkwardly. Watch his ankle. Okay, Giannis's feet is nowhere near Kyrie's ankle. See?
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna run it back one more. He's going up. He got the layup in.
I don't know if it was a dirty play. I mean,
I don't think it was either because guess what? Giannis's feet was there already. See? Giannis's feet was there already. Look at it again. Giannis's feet was there already when you can look at the play. Yeah. See what? Giannis's feet is right there planted already. Now, if you threw your leg out there or you threw your foot out there, then that's definite dirty play. Now, I think a foul should have been called in that situation. Why? Because it was contact.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
I will say that.
Let's take a.
Right, you didn't allow him to land, but to say it was a dirty play, it's two different type of situations in that case.
Yeah, all right. Listen, if Giannis actually, loses this series, this is a true embarrassment on him in a sense, though, and we know like there's no way that the Brooklyn Nets, the Bucks are actually beating the Nets in a sense, though, and I don't know. The body language perspective, I don't know. I don't see it in a sense, though. Maybe
I don't see it because his head is up. Giannis's head is up, looking at the basket. His arms are positioned to leap for the rebound, and his feet was already.
I think he was going to do that. I think he would have to look at his foot to actually make
right, exactly,
and that exactly perfectly to where it can actually have an impact on Kyrie.
Exactly, and that's the whole point.
I think, right? We're on the same page.
Yeah, that's why I came out and said, I just thought Giannis is not a dirty player. I don't think it was a dirty play. And now that we're looking at the play even more extensive, it just didn't look like it was a dirty play. Although I do think a foul should have been called in that situation. And I think the refs dropped the ball there.
Well, I think the refs actually running back in a sense, though. They probably assume like, sorry, the layup is good.
No, you got the referee sitting there on the bottom. You got the referee.
He's sitting it?
He's right there on the bottom. Look at the whole thing. And he stopped and then he started running.
I was concentrating on the actual play.
No, right, yeah, you're right next to 55. Right next to 55. He's looking dead at it. And like I said, he probably should have caught. That's what I was telling guys at the job. They were telling me the same thing was dirty. I said, I don't think it was dirty, but a foul should have been called because it was contact. You're basically taking the guy away from the ability to rebound the basketball. Remember, Kyrie shot the ball. He laid the ball up. Then the contact came afterwards. Okay? And Giannis looked like he's positioning himself. I think Giannis used his right arm a little bit, though. If you really look at it carefully, I think he used his right arm just a little bit more. You see?
Well, that right arm. If he's doing an offensive rebound
that right arm did a little jerk. That right arm did a little jerk. But to stick his foot out there, no. Giannis's foot was already planted in that position, and there was no way for that to be called a situation where it's a dirty foul or a dirty play.
All right, so Barrett and I concur. I don't think it was dirty. I mean, maybe a very I just don't think it was because, like I said, if I was going to do that, I would be looking to see exactly. It's all happened so quickly in a sense, though, and he will have to be looking down at his feet to make sure his feet is like, okay, did I get it in the right spot? And I don't think it was a dirty play. I don't know.
I don't think it was a dirty play either, but I do think somewhere along the line it was contact. We know it was contact by Giannis. Giannis should have been called for possibly a flagrant. Of course, they would have reviewed that play to see if it was.
A flagrant one, not a flagrant two. A flagrant one,
Yeah, but it should have been called either way. I think the referees threw that down because let me tell you something. If I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan, as you are, I would if that play hinges on the Brooklyn Nets surviving this series, then we can move on. Kyrie will get back on the floor and get in the next series. But if they don't move on, that's the play right there that I would look at.
Yeah.
Not how Milwaukee played good or bad. Not how Brooklyn played good or bad. I would look at that play right there because
as I said in our previous video, if they lose this series, it's going to be on Kyrie for not attempting a shot in the last 4 minutes of that game 3. He shoots, and I've seen Kyrie. I've been watching this dude for 6-7 years already, man. You can't tell me that dude didn't. I'm still pissed off about that, man.
I know you're still pissed off about that.
You don't know how angry I am about that, man. When I think about I get pissed off about it. Mad. You don't know, man. I get so freaking tight, man.
I get this way about the Giants, though. Not the Knicks. Believe it or not the Knicks. But I get this way about the Giants. So. But I will say this. And I know we're kind of going a little further than we have to, but I will say this. This is the play to me that will knock the Brooklyn. If the Brooklyn Nets don't win the series, that's the play I go back and look at because Kyrie is very important to them. And you look at Kyrie's ankle, and you look at Harden's hamstring. You got to think about who has the more severe injury, and I will say it's Harden because it's hard to recoup a hamstring as opposed to an ankle. You can tape it up. Things like that. Look at what Joel Embiid is doing with
the thing is, it's the lowest. It's just an ankle sprain. It's not a high ankle sprain. No ligament damage. Thank God. No fractures.
But enough from the rest. Yeah, enough from the rest.
3 to 5 days. Yeah. But he cost them in that game 3, man. And nobody's calling him out. I'm calling him out on that. And I'm really, really pissed off about that, man. I'm still pissed.
You don't hold that on Steve Nash too? You don't hold that on Steve Nash?
Gotta shoot, man. You go look up best of Kyrie. Don't tell me this man is like shooting in the last 4 minutes, man. Come on, man.
I tell you one thing.
If he would attempt shots and miss all the shots, I wouldn't be angry. But for
you, and that's the whole point.
83. Come on, if they only won by 3. Kyrie takes like 7 or 8 shots in that last 4 minutes. They win in the game. Come on.
Well, that's my whole point because had that been Russell Westbrook, even though he can't shoot the basketball,
he shoots. That's what I'm saying.
Russell would have kept shooting. Russell would have kept shooting.
How you don't shoot? And they tearing me up on no Joe Harris. No, fuck Joe. No, it's freaking Kyrie. Get out of here, man. He got to shoot in the last 4 minutes. You got to shoot, man. Kyrie's the one that hit that game winner, man, on Steph's face to win that championship. I know Kyrie, and you're not shooting the basketball in 4 minutes. Barrett, you gotta comprehend this. I'm saying he didn't attempt to score in the last.
I hear what you're saying, but it was a real close game,
he didn't take a freaking shot in 4 minutes.
Was he shooting well that whole game though?
I don't care. Oh, well. He would have made something.
Can I say something to you though, real quick? As a Knicks fan, we talked about continue to shoot. All right, we talking about continue to shoot. When the Knicks lost the '94 NBA Finals to the Houston Rockets in Game 6 in Houston, you know who kept shooting the ball and did not make a damn shot? John fucking Stark.
All right. I'm not right. At least he shot. At least he tried.
Yeah, okay. You know but he wasn't making the shots. Right.
I'm not going to give a about that. At least he shot the ball. He tried. Kyrie didn't even try.
Right. And of course, Knicks fans to this day will sit there and crucify Pat Riley and John Starks for blowing that series because why was you letting John Stark shoot the basketball when he wasn't shooting well? Which brings us to the last 4 minutes of Kyrie Irving. Did he feel like he was shooting the ball well?
Everybody on Facebook, you a Kyrie hater. No, I'm not a Kyrie hater. I'm a Kyrie lover. You got to shoot the basketball, man. I'm going to hold him to listen, you're getting a max contract, man. That's what you're getting paid to do is close those games out.
You have to do it. That's why you got 3 superstars on your team. That way somebody can make a shot, but all 3 of you taking shots in the last 3 or 4 minutes will obviously give the defense.
Listen, on that Cleveland team, man, it was really Kyrie and LeBron. Kevin Love was like a role player in the sense, it's a floor spacer. You know, it was really LeBron and Kyrie that was carrying the offense in a sense. And you go back and watch. Go watch.
No, I remember Kyrie.
Watch best of Kyrie Irving. And telling me, and you don't want to put your hands around this guy's neck, you know, metaphorically speaking, of course. You know.
Well, I know one thing to the great Mike Krzyzewski, who basically is retiring after this year at Duke University. Actually, arguably the best college coach of all time. He coached Kyrie at Duke. And he said how intelligent Kyrie is and how much of a gunslinger he was and how tough he was. And there was no fear in this man's heart. And I still think that's the same way to this day because he coached Kyrie again. And I think the Olympics. And the bottom line is, I don't see why, you won't shoot in the last 4 minutes. But when Mike Krzyzewski can come out in another interview 2 days ago and say the very same thing, he said, that is a guy I know is a killer.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting mad. None of the Brooklyn Nets fans actually saw it. I'm like, they played with Joe Harris. I'm like, Joe Harris? I'm like, no, Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? Joe Harris is not supposed to close games out. He's to help. He's not a closer. Kyrie's a closer, and for him,
Kyrie's a showstopper. Yeah, but the real closer on that team is not Kyrie. The real closer on that team is KD.
Yeah, we know Kyrie. I mean, right? Because offensively, it's neck and neck. I mean, Kyrie's better at breaking down the defense than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's better, but in terms of breaking down the defense, getting to the basket, handles Kyrie.
Either one of them I would trust. Actually, I wouldn't want the ball in Harden's hands for the last shot. It would either have to be KD or Kyrie. But because they've both shown consistently being those guys, being the killer assassins they are. But only Kyrie can answer what happened in those last 4 minutes. I'm gonna go on the concept that this man probably lost confidence in his shot. But you still gotta take shots. All right, hey, listen. Last 4 minutes of the game, you're not shooting the rock. What does that tell you?
No, that's what I was saying in the last show. I mean, what's going on with him? I mean, his body language. I'm like, he's not shooting. He's the shot selection. I'm like, let's wrap this up, man. We went way overboard on this one. It's supposed to be a 6-7 minute video, man. We went 16 minutes. Sheesh.
Well, hey, that's a Brooklyn Nets. Anyway,
we'll wrap the video up. We're going when